welcome to another Math 2 class with teacher Marian. This time, we will discuss the second lesson in quarter 4, module 2, which is Deciles for group data. Decile for group data is computed in a way that the quartiles are calculated. We still have to follow these steps. Step 1. Complete the frequency distribution table. Step 2. Determine the decile class interval using the formula Kn over 10. The value of K is the nth decile, where n could be equal to 1, 2, 3, up to 9. N is the total frequency. Step 3. Calculate the decile value using the formula, where LB is the lower boundary of the decay class. I is the size of the class interval. CF sub B is the cumulative frequency of the class before the decay class, and F sub dk is the frequency of the decay class. As what you have observed, the only difference between solving the value of quartile and decile for group data is the constant denominator found in the given formula. Since we are dealing with decile, the denominator here becomes 10 because decile divides the distribution into 10 equal parts. So now let us proceed to the example. Calculate the 7th decile of the mathematics test course of 50 students given this frequency table. As what you have observed, we use the same data as what is being used in our example in the quartile for grouped data. So make sure you are able to watch the video lesson in quarter 4 module 2 lesson 1 to give you a more comprehensive explanation in each step, specifically the process of completing the frequency table. So for the first step, we need to fill in the remaining rows in the lower class boundaries and less than cumulative frequency columns. In addition, we have to find the value of n, or the total frequency. The value of n is 50 after summing up all the entries in the frequency column. Next is to get the lower boundaries. The simpler way to do it is to subtract 0.5 from the lower limit of the given class. So let's start from the bottom. The lower limit for the class interval 21 to 25 is 21. So 21 minus 0.5 is equal to 20.5. Let us fill in the rest of the lower boundaries column in the same way. By doing so, we were able to arrive with these entries. Next is the less than cumulative frequency, which is obtained by adding successively the frequencies of all the previous classes along with the class against which it is written. In this type, the cumulate begins from the lowest to the highest size. So we will start from the bottom. The first entry will be the same as the first entry in the frequency column, which is 6. The second entry will be the sum of the first two entries in the frequency column. So 6 plus 12 is 18. Let us fill in the rest of the cumulative frequency column in the same way. Remember that our last entry for this column should be equal to the value of our n, which is the total frequency. Since we are done completing the table, then let us proceed to step 2. Determine the decile class interval using the formula Kn over 10. Remember that our K is the nth decile and n is the total frequency. Since we are looking for the 7th decile or D7, then the value of our K is 7 and n is 50. Let us substitute the value of K and n to the formula. So we have here 7 times 50 is equal to 350 divided by 10. The answer is 35. This means we need to find the class interval where the 35th score is obtained. This 35th value of observation can be found in the less than cumulative frequency column. Note that the 28th to 38th scores belong to the class interval 36 to 40. So, the 35th score is also within the class interval. The D7 class is the class interval 36 to 40. Since we already determined the 7th decile class, then it's time for us to do the last step, which is to calculate the decile value using the given formula. For D7, we will have this one. Before doing the operation, we need to provide first the value of the following. For the lower boundary or LB, let us look at the table in step 1. The lower boundary of D7 class is 35.5. For the value of our I, or the size of the class interval, we have to find the difference between the lower boundaries of two consecutive or neighboring classes. Let us have these two consecutive lower boundaries, 45.5 and 40.5. 45.5 minus 40.5 is equal to 5. So the value of the variable I, or the size of the class interval, is 5. The value of our CF sub B, which is the cumulative frequency of the class before the 7th decile class, is 27. Since the cumulative frequency of D7 class is 38, then the cumulative frequency before 38 is 27. That's why CFB is equal to 27. Lastly is the FD7, which is the frequency of the 7th decile class. So for D7 class, the frequency is 11. This time, let us perform the operation by substituting all the given in the formula. Remember that the value of the expression kn over 10 can be found in step 2. So for D7, the value of the expression kn over 10 is 35. Now let us do the operation. D7 is equal to 35.5 plus the quantity of 35 minus 27 over 11 times 5. 35 minus 27 is equal to 8 divided by 11. The answer is 0.727 times 5, that is equal to 3.635. Now let us add 35.5 and 3.635. The answer is 39.14. Therefore, the value of our 7th decile is 39.14. And that's all for this lesson, Deciles for Grouped Data.
Maraming salamat sa panunood, mga kaalamat!